Here we go. Here we go. We're live, baby.
Welcome in the latest episode of That SEC Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Bratton. I go by SEC Mike on Twitter. And that is, of course, the big Tennessee Homer cousin, Shane. What's up, brother?
Hey, babe, what's going on?
Here's the problem, though, Shane. I don't know if we're on the right one or not.
Probably not.
Oh, wait, no, I think they can see us.
Here we go.
Let us know if you can hear us. Let us know if you can see us.
Benjamin got in here first.
Yeah, Benjamin. We But hey, we got a great one lined up, buddy. I know you've had a busy day over there.
Fighting kids, Mike. You know what I'm saying? I tell you what, if there's a lot of dads out there, moms out there, these teenage girls, I'll tell you, they should show this to kids, before they get married and stuff. Be like, this is what it looks like. You're going to fight a lot. You wonder why I'm bald, Mike, fighting all these women in my life. That's why my face is red. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's why I got here. I don't have any children.
Yeah, that's it, buddy. It's going to go real quick if you had some teenage girls running around here.
But hey, we could talk about that all day, brother. We got to talk about, we're brought to you by MyBookie. Head on over to MyBookie online sportsbook. Put in that promo code THAT. SEC, over at MyBookie, Shane. Check us out. They're willing to give anybody that does that a matching their initial deposit all the way up to $1,000. It was 50%, Shane, but they are so grateful that they're going to match it 100% as long as you put in 50 over at MyBookie online sportsbook. Listen to Cousin Shane. Fade me and Steven's picks, apparently. No one else can pick the games but Cousin Shane, but got to be doing it over at MyBookie. You know what?
That's awesome, man. I deposit with my daughter. I never get it back. Deposit with my bookie, I get 100% back, up to $1,000. Come on now.
But hey, it's a weekly mailbag show, Shane. And these, I swear, these keep getting better and better each week. If you got a question too that you didn't get in, if you didn't send it now, it's too late. But
right,
hit us up with a donation, and we'll get to it as well. So we're happy to get anybody that shows up to answer questions. But you ready to answer a ton of mailbag questions here, brother?
My favorite show, Mike. Absolutely. Let's do it.
And, the thing I love, Shane, most of these are like off the wall. And we get some wild stuff here.
You never know where it's going to go. It's not all football related, too. So
right. So how about this one, Shane? Because this is where I'm at, right?
Yeah.
Florida got devastated. I get it. But are we writing them off too early? This comes from Outlaw Red. He says, they were trash. But what if Miami is a natty contender asking for a battered Vol fan? Are we writing Florida off too early? Shay, they just announced it like 10 minutes ago. DJ Lagway, 5-star freshman, he's going to be starting against Samford.
Yeah.
I think that obviously that has a lot more to do with Graham Mertz's concussion than it does, they're turning the page to the freshman. But imagine he balls out here.
Yeah.
Could that give us hope that, hey, Florida's turning this thing around?
I'm not sure that it's about the quarterback DJ. I really don't. It's funny that you bring this up because after all day Saturday of making fun of the Florida Gators, I'm sitting there in my bed. I'm all happy, that they're finally just in turmoil. And then I'm like, oh shit, what if Miami's good, Then it all goes right out the window, Mike, because I felt like Miami, when you look at it, because the one question I get asked a lot is about Florida and South Carolina.
Yeah.
And I'm not convinced that Old Dominion's winning a national championship. But there's a chance Miami may contend for it. So, if that were the case, maybe this is a program that does get better throughout the season, that does learn from some of these week one mistakes. And unlike the BCS era, they're not out. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoff or anything like that, but we may get to the end of this thing and say, hey, week one Florida didn't beat Miami, but week 8 Florida, maybe they would have.
And how about, Liquid says it well. They're going to crush Samford. I don't care what anybody says. But what if they do that and they turn around and beat A&M with Lagway as their quarterback? And that is not a stretch. They're playing A&M at home.
Yeah.
We've only seen A&M once, but they didn't look good. So I mean, we're not that far away from 2-1 here.
But I can't. Here's the thing, man.
I'm trying to reel you back in.
Know, but I think about all the freshman quarterbacks that have led us to anything. You know what I'm saying? It's a very, very small list. And that's why I'm not giving up on Mertz just yet. Because Mertz didn't have the week one that he wanted, but I know I know Mertz's floor. I don't know DJ's floor. DJ's floor may be 4 interception and blow an opportunity to win a football game against Kentucky or Tennessee or some of those teams. I know Mertz, because he's proven it, that as long as everything else is going on around him good, that he could keep you in a ball game. He's not going to necessarily lose it.
How about the? I love this comment from cousin Travis. He says, "Lagway don't play defense, brother." Well said. Well said. All right, how about this one? Another. I mean, this is heavily Gator themed here. Starting out, Shane. Where does Billy Napier rank among the all-time worst hires? Is he closer to Chad Morris or Butch Jones? And
Butch Jones had some good years, Mike.
That's what I was going to lead with, Shane. I mean,
I'm thinking Derek Dooley, if you're going there, or Chad Morris. Right now, again, it's still early. Ron Zook? Yeah.
You know, how about I'll check this out. I don't know it off the top of my head. Keep going there, Shane. But I'll look up his record because I heard it the other day.
Yeah,
it is significantly better. So they ran his ass off, which they should have.
Yeah.
23-14. Mm-hmm. 23-14. I mean, not that that's great, right?
Luke, sorry.
But Napier, 11-15. Come on.
No. I think Coach Luke there at Ole Miss is another one kind of in that list. So, and that's just like recent. I mean, we could go back in time, but those are the names that kind of pop up in my mind.
But he won a couple conference games, but that's why there's Chad Morris and there's everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, Zach Arnett, he won a conference game. He was pretty awful. But I would say Billy's better than that. I'm trying to think.
Arnett wasn't like we went out and we hunted for him either.
Right.
You know, Billy was who they wanted. And unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? I felt like you talk about Derek Dooley. I feel like that was kind of a knee-jerk reaction to everything that happened, you know.
Right. So you're saying it's even worse just because they had, you know, when they did this search, I'm trying to remember the timeline, but it literally was like a week. They had their guy.
Yeah, they knew it. Yeah.
And I think the only thing they had to wait for him to coach out the Sun Belt Championship. That was it. But
and that's where he got the nickname.
But he's not the worst.
No.
But he's far, far from the best.
Yeah.
Like Liquid says, he's the worst Florida coach in my lifetime. That's probably that's all you really needs to be said. You know what?
If Chad Morris took that job, do you think they'd have a better record right now?
No, hell no.
Okay, just curious.
So let's do it this way though. So you think Napier's worse than Muschamp? At least Muschamp, I think he won 11 games one year, right? 10 or 11, something like that.
And I trust his coaching at times, you know what I'm saying? Not the entire time, but there was moments that I was like, damn, and I do it now, you know, with him down there in Georgia. So, yeah, I like Muschamp, and honestly, I think he's a hell of a recruiter. And, you know, as long as he's bringing the talent in this NIL era, I think Muschamp would have done well down there in Florida.
Mm-hmm. Cousin Daniel, he just threw us $5. Appreciate you, Cousin Daniel. He says overreacting to losing to Mizzou is the reason Florida's in this mess to begin with. Mullins wasn't terrible. Yeah, Missouri beat the brakes off him, if you remember.
Yeah, no. Just rip the Gator podcast here.
All right, how about this one, Shane? How many games after losing to South Carolina on Saturday does Mark Stoops have left at Kentucky if he were to lose? And this question comes via Stubbs Milling Company.
Yeah.
If Mark Stoops loses to South Carolina, how many more games he got before he's fired?
He won't be. Stoops will not get fired during the season unless just like the bottom truly falls out.
Actually, I'm sorry. He doesn't even say fired, but he just says how many games has he got left? Because I think he'll retire or something. Like I think they're done with him.
I think there could be a mutual agreement at the end of the season to save face, that not so much a firing as a step down type deal, or maybe even take another job situation. You know, I don't know if I was going to be open or not, but that's the one that keeps popping up. But I feel like that's going to be the scenario here with the longest tenured coach, right? He's right now currently in the SEC, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So, I mean, you don't just throw away all those years that he developed and made your program. I mean, there's a reason that the standard has changed there in Kentucky, and that's because of Coach Stoops. So I think even though you're a little upset with maybe how the season went or last season went, I think you still got to give a little respect there and let him finish out the season at least.
You don't know SEC fans like I do, Shane. If you're thinking respect is coming with any embarrassing
where would you
loss.
fire? Where would you, like, let's say worst case scenario, if you pull that schedule up, let's say, I mean, I'm talking you'd have to lose to Ohio. You'd have to lose to Vanderbilt. I think you're not gonna get fired after an Auburn game. You're not gonna get fired after a Tennessee game or a Texas game.
No, I got the one perfect one for you, Shane.
What is it?
Louisville. Because if he's losing to South Carolina, that means they're getting their ass beat by Georgia.
Yeah.
They're getting destroyed at Ole Miss. They're getting destroyed at Tennessee. They're getting destroyed at Texas. And then they turn around in a game they've owned. If it flips the other way in dominant fashion, get his ass out of here.
I just don't see it happen. This is crazy talk, Mike. How many shows have you been doing in a row to get to this point right here? Firing everybody.
I've just answered the questions that are asked here, Shane.
I don't see a scenario, Mike. I really don't see a realistic scenario. I don't see a scenario that he's gone this year, even if he loses to South Carolina. I still think he's coming back next season. Okay,
so yeah, lifetime contract. How about you'll like this one, Shane, from Mizzou Mafia.
Yeah.
You'll like it, but these Oklahoma fans won't. What's more likely to happen? And remember, he says more likely now.
Yeah.
Oklahoma misses a bowl game, or Vanderbilt makes a bowl game. Because, oh, baby. I mean, Vanderbilt they look pretty close to a bowl game right now. So what's more likely? Vanderbilt makes a bowl game, or Oklahoma misses a bowl game?
Less likely or more likely?
More likely.
More likely that Vanderbilt misses a bowl game.
No, that's not the question, Shane.
Oh.
Vanderbilt make a bowl game, or Oklahoma misses a bowl game. What is more likely?
Oh. What do you got? Let me chew on that one for a second. What are you thinking?
I hate to say it, man. I think more likely Vanderbilt makes one. After what we saw week 1.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, well, I mean, because then you're saying Oklahoma makes it too, right?
No, you can only do one.
So you're saying, either Vanderbilt makes it or Oklahoma misses it.
Shane, let me read this question for the third time for you. What is more likely to happen?
Yeah.
Vanderbilt makes a bowl game.
Yes.
They just had a critical win no one saw coming. Basically all they got to do now is pull one upset somewhere, and they're going to a bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
Or Oklahoma misses a bowl game. What is more likely?
I still think that's kind of a trick question, Mike.
Well, of course, he's trying to put down Oklahoma is the trick of the whole thing.
I'm looking at this scenario. Like, either way is going to make Oklahoma out a loser. You get that, right? This is a trick question. It's well worded because I'm the 5th time explaining here. But, yeah, I think more likely Vanderbilt making a bowl game is going to happen than Oklahoma missing one. That's kind of where I'm going at. I don't know.
You're picking both. You can't pick both. I don't think you can.
You're making me pick both by going one way. I don't. That's a good question. I do think Vanderbilt has a shot now after this Virginia Tech game.
Right.
I think short of Diego getting hurt, that's the only concern I have because he's very mobile. You know what I'm saying? And that may have worked over, on that side of the Mississippi, but here in Nashville, you're going to take a beating playing that type of football.
Shane's had one too many cores today.
Yeah. Dude, I went like a hangover, that maybe with all the numbers behind me. I'm trying to figure that out. So, yeah. I'm going with
ZOV says, tell him, cuz it's 6:30 and OU still sucks, Mike. All right, how about this one? Oh, here's another one from Cousin Ty. This is pretty good. Cousin Shane has to quit those breakfast beers on other podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah, I got one early on Arkansas. Actually, I got two early because he was like, hey, let's do it at 12. And I was like, yeah, let's do it 12. And then I realized I'm Tennessee time, it's Arkansas time, so we started even earlier over there. So had a good time with those boys.
How about this one, Shane, from Cousin Kyle Woodward? Could Florida realistically hire Dan Lanning from Oregon? And isn't it funny, Shane? We're already like, well, who's the next guy? Like done with Billy. Who can we get? But I hate to. Here's the thing, and I hate to kick Florida while they're down. Mm-hmm. And I don't necessarily think this is kicking them because this is just reality. They don't land big name coaches. Mm-mm. Now you can sit here and say, what the hell are you talking about? They got Steve Spurrier. Well, he was the Duke coach. That was not a big name. Well, they got Urban Meyer. Yes, they had to beat out Notre Dame for him, but, they got him from a G5 school. And Urban Meyer at that point in time was not Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
Just look at some of the guys they've hired. Napier, Dan Mullen from Mississippi. He was Mississippi State's coach. He if you remember, Shane, he about tried to land a different job every offseason.
Yeah.
He just finally got one, and he took it. Zook was another one. Jim McElwain. I mean, this is, for whatever reason, they don't go out there and get the big name guys. So can Florida get Dan Lanning? I don't think there's a shot in the world they could get him.
No, I don't either. I mean, you look at Texas A&M, Alabama. If Alabama can't get them, you know what I'm saying? Why is he going to go to Florida? So I'm right there with you. I feel like if Billy were to get fired, well, one of the things you're going to have to address is a $26 million buyout.
Yeah.
So there's a little chunk in your discovery money. And then I feel like it's either going to be kind of what they've hired in the past, maybe a young up and coming guy, a little exciting, awesome on the recruiting trail type situation, or somebody with baggage, like a Hugh Freeze down there at Auburn, or Lane Kiffin before he found Ole Miss. It'd been nice if that were, everybody wants to talk Lane Kiffin. Well, you got him one coach cert too late. You know what I'm saying?
Cousin Justice says Dan Lanning turned down Bama just to wait for this Florida job. How about this one, Shane? Oh, this is a good one. I'm gonna throw up our schedule here. This is from Cousin Randy. Trying to find. Here we go. Cousin Randy Kent. Can Georgia make the college football playoff if they go 9-3? But the 3, Shane, this is critical.
Yeah.
The 3 losses at Alabama, at Texas, and at Ole Miss. If all 3 of those are top 6 teams by the end of the season. So you might look at it and say 9-3. I don't know. But if you're losing the top 6 teams all on the road, I think Georgia would get the benefit of the doubt. I think they'd put them in.
Maybe. I don't think so. I mean,
you don't, huh?
No. I mean, we talked about this in the offseason, a scenario for Georgia getting in with 3 losses. And I think one of those had to be Clemson. I was looking at possibly a Clemson, Bama, Texas. Then you catch fire after Florida, Ole Miss, Tennessee. Again, a couple of top 5, top 10 teams. Make some noise here. So I don't see that scenario. 9-3, I don't think you get in. 10-2 is going to be hard enough.
You just hate that it wasn't Tennessee, one of the 3, don't you?
I just don't. Do you see? I mean, honestly, I 9-3 in your heart.
If all the 3 are top 6 teams, I think you got to put them in. Because what are we doing otherwise? I mean,
would you knock off another 10-2 SEC team to get that in?
I mean, I don't know that there's going to be any other than maybe the 3 he brought up: Ole Miss, Bama, and Texas.
Let's say Ole Miss 10-2. Would you put in? Well, they would have beat them. Let's say Mizzou.
Right.
Mizzou. There's a good one. 10-2 Mizzou, or a 9-3 Georgia with that scenario.
Mizzou sitting at home.
Yeah, I mean they are. You you mean not getting a play? You crazy, man.
Yeah, I'd put in Georgia on that one.
Have you not seen Boston College? Let's say they beat Boston College.
Because if Mizzou's 10-2, they probably lost to Bama and Oklahoma.
Maybe. I mean,
I'm not putting them in on that. No, hell no. Meanwhile, Georgia would have wins over Clemson, over Tennessee, over mighty Georgia Tech.
What if it's Bama and A&M? Barely.
Well, hell, I mean,
they beat Auburn.
A&M doesn't look very good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What if that was the two, Bama and A&M, but
so you're done.
Auburn, Oklahoma. Man, you crazy. You crazy. These damn scenarios. These questions get crazier and crazier each week.
How about this one from Elko Hours?
Wonder what it's about. Did you see that video I posted? There's a place, I guess it's that Sphere. I don't know. I'm not really good with names and whatever it is, but it's got this huge complex that you can watch a game. I thought for like 10, 15 minutes that this was the actual stadium. I thought it was Kyle Field, but apparently you can go to these places and sit there, have cold beer, and have that stadium effect. I didn't know they could do that in Vegas, but I guess they can do all kinds of stuff out there.
Yeah. Hey, shout out Cousin John. He just became a member of the channel, Shane.
Hey, thanks, cuz.
He's probably down there in Vegas looking at that thing you're talking about down there.
Boy, can you imagine us on one of them 100-foot things, you know? I think I look big now. Put me in that Sphere.
Now, here's a question, Shane, from Elko Hours. Is your confidence in Mike Elko shaken already after, I mean, my goodness, Shane, we're doing this already? Again, Notre Dame might be elite. Who knows? Their defense sure as hell looked elite to me. But no, I mean, no. I mean, what was the over-under? It was like 8.5?
Yeah.
We're already down one. I mean, so based on the over-under, we're, 3 to 4 losses. I don't know. That's crazy. But you hate A&M and Elko anyway, so do you have any confidence in them?
I don't say that, but I mean, there was part of me, like, I didn't like the quarterback situation. I didn't walk away because the reason I felt Notre Dame won was because of their quarterback. And so many times you may have a great defense, but have a shitty quarterback. Not that Connor is, but still, it wasn't unlocked that night. And does it take that monumental step moving forward? They got a tough schedule coming up. So I'm not doubting Elko because what is Elko good at? Defense. What did I see play good? Defense, The offensive side, maybe the coordinator hire wasn't as exciting as I thought it would be. The quarterback development, I thought Connor maybe, take that step forward because there was moments at the early season last year that you're like, dude, but you remove Bobby Petrino, now all of a sudden quarterback don't look so good.
Right. Hey, shout out to Cousin Ollie. He's got the best comment of the night so far. I imagine Shane in that Vegas Sphere now just looking straight up at his TV.
Hey, we had fun though, didn't we? That watch along, I didn't know how it'd go, but my wife, I come out, she goes, "Is it over?" I was like, "No, it's halftime." She's like, "You're in there yeehawing." I told her. She goes, "You put that?" So she's cool. She's cool about it.
Hey, how about this one from Car Doc, Shane? He just gave us a donation.
Hey, thanks, cuz.
Does a dominant Auburn win over Oklahoma Week 5 at home give the rest of the conference heebie-jeebies? Or get Mike to be nice for what? So how about it? Let me throw up their schedule here. Shane, Auburn, Week 5. So I guess we would be assuming that they're undefeated.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be big favorites in all these games. Obviously, Cal, New Mexico, Arkansas. We'll see what Arkansas does this weekend, but still gotta lean heavy in Auburn's favor here. Yeah, if they go 5-0, buddy, we're cooking. We are. If we're 5-0, there's no reason we can't go 8-4 minimum. I'm saying minimum, maybe even 9-3. Maybe coach of the year right there for Hugh Freeze. How about it?
Yeah, man. I mean, we haven't used the phrasing developmental school, but I really do think that Auburn has that opportunity. Maybe us talking heads haven't been as patient as we should have been, and maybe this is one of the teams that had a 70-point victory that we're not giving enough respect to. But when you start stacking wins on wins here, you earn the respect when you start seeing it out there on the football field. So I'm not saying you got to get to 5. I think a big win over Cal, people are going to start recognizing just how good Auburn might be. And then all of a sudden that you got that, we all do this preseason. We're like, oh, that's a win. That's a win. You see Auburn on there like, that's a win. Now you're like, well, shit, I hope that's a win. And the closer it gets, like, man, I mean, this may be a coin toss. So that's where you want. And again, you just got to keep stacking those wins on top of each other.
Yep. Hey, shout out to cousin Charles Marr
thanks,
here.
cuz.
He just gave us $20, but no question. Hit us up with a question, Charles. We're happy to answer it for you. How about this one, Shane? From cousin Thomas Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the next SEC head coach to win a national title? And I think what he's trying to say is like his first national title.
Yeah.
So probably, we probably not answering Kirby here because he's already won. Who's the next coach to win a natty out of the SEC?
Let's go off week 1. Give me oh, you're not gonna like this, Mike. You're not gonna like this at all. It's your boy down there in Texas.
Clark Lee?
No. Give me Steve. Give me Steve-O. I think after week 1, there's a real shot that this is a team that may go the distance, brother. And I try not to overreact, but this isn't Arkansas Pine Bluff. This isn't Old Dominion. This was Colorado State, and we thought this was going to be a hell of a football game. It never was close, and mainly not just the offense, but it was that defense, that stingy defense, which I think is going to help them throughout this season. They're deep, they're loaded. Long as they stay healthy, brother, there's a shot that Steve-O may get it this year.
You totally whiffed on the opportunity to say Josh Heupel.
No, you're saying ever? I think Josh Heupel will get one. I really do. I don't. But you're basically what I'm saying is I think there's a good shot Steve gets it this year. Do I think there's a shot Josh Heupel gets it? I think there's a possibility. But I would like to see maybe Nico in year 2, year 3, something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's very, very. I mean, it's almost a coin toss. It's not like the old days, brother, where you got 1 or 2 coaches. There's an opportunity. You're looking at Drink. You're looking at Lane Kiffin. You're looking at.
Well, you can't take them all now.
No, I picked one, but I'm just saying if we're talking 5, 6 years, there's an opportunity that there's a handful of coaches have that shot.
Yeah, well, you got the answer wrong. All those coaches you named, you didn't even get the right one, Shane. Give me, Mr. DeBoring, Kalen DeBoring down there at Alabama. After watching them week 1, I'm over the moon. You know what? I think if he can lead freaking Washington to the national championship, he's going to win at least one down there in Alabama. I really do think.
Mike hates Nick Saban so much that he talks up the predecessor. No. I mean, after 1 week, you said I was going to fire him, and after 1 game, you're ready to crown him the next national champ.
But I would also, if we're just putting this year, wild card, Shane.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin. Yeah. But he's got to win a big game. That's why I call Lane Kiffin, obviously. So otherwise, I would put him into that category if I knew he could win some of these big games. But I don't know. I don't know that I got confidence in him to do that.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but I think, this is the season. If Lane was going to do it, I feel like this is the year. So, yeah, I mean, that's another one. Honestly, I thought about Sark, and then I thought about Lane, then I thought about Josh Heupel, that order.
Yeah.
And then way down there, Coach DeBoer. Just kidding. Not too far off.
All right, how about this one for Jay Dizzle here? Big if too, maybe not too big of an if Texas blows out Michigan this weekend,
yeah,
should they be ranked number 1 in the country? That's from cousin Manny.
Yeah, I think so, Mike. I mean, Clemson
over Georgia.
We're talking about blowout. What do they got? Michigan 6 or something stupid like that. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying. That's what they care about.
I think number 10. I think they got them at 10.
10. It's still. And who's Georgia playing this week?
Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to move within and especially jump 2 spots because of a victory. But if it's a blowout, I think, and I'm talking about just fun to watch kind of game where it's 30, 40 points or something like that, and there's no question that they look substantially better than any program that played this week, there is an opportunity, but it's very, very tough to drop or bump a team, especially like Georgia sitting there in that one spot.
Right, but didn't just Georgia blow out Clemson? I mean, why are we not giving any love to that?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't like Tennessee Tech. You know, I like Michigan. I like the heads up here. I mean, we got Big 12 up. I mean, they're going to have big noon kickoff and all that good jazz. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. Not one single soul besides Georgia fans and maybe me and you going to be watching that Georgia game.
Shay, did you know there's one, there may be another one, hell, I don't know, but I know for a fact there is one SEC program, and I believe it's the only one, that has never played one of these FCS opponents. Do you know who it is? Wonder if the people in the comments know. This is something you're going to have.
Oh, is that an Aflac? Have it roll at the bottom. We'll just continue and come back.
No, it's that mighty Texas Longhorns, Shane. They have never played. That's exactly what you were just saying. So I was hoping you'd go for it. But yeah, it's Texas. They have never played one of these FCS teams that Georgia's playing this weekend, and hell, everybody in the conference plays them.
Do you think it changes? Do you think that changes now that they are in the SEC and potentially looking at a nine game slate? You know,
I would, if I had that going, I would never break it.
Well, I know you wouldn't, but would Texas break it? You know,
no, I mean that's a point of pride. You know why not?
A point of pride doesn't get you anything, Mike. Not, I mean,
they got my respect when I found that out. I'm back on the bandwagon.
Hey,
no.
Oh, look at him. It didn't take you long to get sucked in. So,
now, how about this? From Zai Zhou, sticking with the name. Texas theme here. How big is the panic when Texas gets destroyed by Michigan?
Oh, man. Start Arch Manning, you know.
If that happens, if Michigan whoops them, how big will the panic be?
There would be some panic, brother, because talking heads like myself have talked down Michigan, that they're I mean, you look at last week, they struggled. You know, coming into this one, you're saying, hey, listen, we get 14 points up on these guys. There's no reason that Michigan can stay in this thing. But, you know, it all goes out the window, man, if you drop it, because that's what happened with the Notre Dame game last week, the Miami game. It's like these conferences, even though they lose other games, they get the big old pat on the back when they took down a big, bad number 3 team in the country, and arguably some are saying the best team in the SEC. Now, I'm not saying that, but there are people out there painting that narrative.
I would disagree with you, Shane. If they lose, I don't care, even if it's by 20 points. Mm-hmm. No panic. No conference games, 12-team playoff, no panic whatsoever, because you still control your destiny, and you're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
But I'm not hitting the panic button either. I think that would just tell us that Michigan is still cheating.
Still cheating. God, you disagree with it. You sound like my kid now, Mike. No, I mean, I don't see a scenario where they wouldn't panic, because now you're like, where am I going to get my games? Am I going to get my win against Georgia now? You know what I'm saying? It's like these other games come to question.
Easy win.
Oh, right.
Hey, shout out Cousin Hardman. He just became a member to the
welcome
channel.
To the family, brother.
Yeah. All right, how about this one, Shane? From Cousin Carmelo, what is Cousin Shane willing to do if Tennessee beats both Florida and Alabama?
What am I willing to do? Celebrate? I mean, what am I willing to do if that happens?
Uh-huh.
I don't know, man. What am I willing to do? You tell me. What's the best comment saying right now? What should I do if we beat Florida? People are saying, I've seen power rankings that had Florida at the bottom of the SEC, Mike. Mm-hmm. and we got Alabama with.
But even that, you can't think that's a gimme win for Tennessee.
Oh yeah, of course it's a gimme win.
Florida.
Mike, if that loses, I already got a bet that I'm going to walk a marathon. You know what I'm saying? I haven't practiced at all. I did one day of shopping with my wife, and I may die if I do a marathon. So that's how confident I am, you know. I'm not eating shit out of a cup, but I'm telling you right now, I'm going to get out there and walk 13 miles. So I probably need to not put any more bets on the Florida game. There's enough riding on it right now.
Darwin says cake stand with a bobcat. That could be something you could do.
Cake stand with a bobcat.
Jordan says 25-mile walk. No, you shouldn't have to be punished for your team winning. I don't.
Yeah.
How about swim in pinto beans with a tub of pinto beans? That's one.
Hey,
Again, that seems like a punishment.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't get punished. I should.
Cousin Ty says dye your hair. Oh wait.
Oh, Ty, not cool, man. No, I can't.
Cousin Josh says, would you eat chocolate mousse out of a cup?
I did that today.
Hey, shout out Cousin Serene here.
Hey, welcome to the family.
Just became a member of the channel. We do appreciate you. But yeah, I don't know. I got to think about that. I mean, I'm just thinking you pounding beers. Like there's got to be something that drink 10 beers is what CT here is saying.
Yeah, maybe we do.
Oh, how about this is even better. Get a Nico tattoo.
Hey, what time is that? What time is that Bama game? Tennessee Bama. Have they got a time on that one yet? Do you know?
I don't believe so.
Hopefully it's the late one. Maybe we do like a late night thing. Maybe pound some cold beers and answer to another fan bag question.
Yeah. All right. How about this one, Shane, from cousin Austin Russell?
Yeah.
What do you think Lane Kiffin will post on Twitter in January after Tennessee wins the national title?
Oh, man. There would be a lot of Tennessee stuff, you know, probably with this boy and everything, you know, Knox. There's probably some references there. But I don't know. I would think that he'd be kind of quiet. One thing about Lane is he likes to troll when things are going bad. You saw that he got on there and talked about the water bottle with
Kelly.
Coach Kelly. You know, so I feel like he probably won't say too much for a natty. Now, if Tennessee were to lose one, then I believe that's where you're going to see the tweets fired off.
Oh yeah, he's a troll. He waits for his moment to pounce. He's not sending out congrats.
No,
he's not thanking Vol Nation unless he beats them. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Absolutely. No, yeah, that's exactly what Lane's doing. So only if he beats you or if you get beat, that's when you'll start seeing the mustard tweets and things like that.
All right, how about this one, Shane, from cousin Trey Tucker? He always asks great questions here. Biggest disappointment and the first one to be benched: Goggles, Graham Mertz, or Connor Wigman?
Biggest disappointment, I think, is Sellers for me.
Really?
Yeah, I know he's a freshman, but I kind of put him on a pedestal. You know what I'm saying? It didn't help Cam Newton was going out there winning national championships with them right after the video game comes up. So the hype train was a humming here, and that's why everybody kind of got bought in down there in South Carolina. It's like, hey, not only is he mobile, but he's extremely accurate. The reason I'm looking at the bench side of it, it was a close quarterback race coming into this one. You know, I'm not sure that Connor's going to have somebody take his job just yet, but I do think that there's a real shot that we see Robbie this week if things don't go right with South Carolina against Kentucky.
Yeah, for me, Connor Wigman's the biggest disappointment. You know, just 1 week, he can bounce back, but I don't know. I don't think this counts, but maybe you could say Graham Mertz first bench. They're rolling with DJ Lagway, but I don't consider that bench because I think he's banged up. But I would agree with you that that's tough. But I think Sellers would be the first one benched. I really do, because he's not. We have seen a little bit of Wigman. We've seen him play at a high level. We have seen Graham Mertz play at a high level. Mm-hmm. We have not even seen it from Sellers. You know what I mean? So it's possible that he's not ready or he doesn't have it in him, which we shouldn't be saying. We shouldn't write him off after one game, but it is possible.
Yeah, and like I said, I just think that quarterback race was pretty tight. And, I mean, it wasn't like Robbie was there the entire time. I mean, they went down to Auburn and picked this kid up. So they made an investment to bring him here to Columbia. So I think there's a real shot that you see him if things don't work out with Sellers. But behind Mertz got benched because he's injured. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I felt like it was kind of at the surface. Maybe week 5, week 6, you saw a DJ situation, but now it just got thrown out there because of the concussion.
Hey, cousin Charles hit us up back with his question after his donation, Shane. Let's throw up Mizzou's record. What rank will Missouri be when they go 11-1? What do you think, Shane? Where would you put Mizzou if they went 11-1? I guess it depends on where that one is. Probably Alabama. Yeah. I would probably put them top 3 or 4 in the country if they're 11-1.
If they're 11-1, and let's say that loss is on the road to Bama, I would put them at probably at that 5 spot is where I'm at. I think there's going to be a team or two out there with one loss. Mizzou doesn't have the respect, clearly. I mean, you see the AP polls. So why were they going to give it to them after they lose a game to Alabama? I mean, to get the respect that they deserve, they got to win out and go undefeated. So.
But I think Bobby is an Oklahoma fan, Shane. He says, Missouri 11-1, they'd be 13th. So they just missed the college football playoff. You know what?
Oh, man, that's it, man. They're not the sexy pick. And but, again, you stack wins on wins, then you earn that respect.
How about this one from Chris Vaught here? Can Auburn put up 45-plus on Cal? War damn Eagle. 45. Oof, I would lean no on that. What do you say?
I mean, it helps that it's at home. We saw this game last year. I think we're looking at 2 different programs.
Yeah, it was I think it was 14-10 or something crazy last year.
Very sluggish, very slow, just no offense whatsoever. I felt like these boys kind of grew up. I felt like Peyton, he looked really good, brother. And I don't know if that's just a facade, after week 1. Did you like that word? Use that one. I don't even know if I used it right, but I feel like that they did take that step forward, and there's an opportunity that this could be a blowout. But 45, that's a little too rich for my blood.
Now let's flip it the other way, though, Shane. If they do score 45,
yeah,
man, that hype for that Auburn trade is just. I mean, it's gonna be roll. Even I'll jump on the bandwagon at that point. You know what?
Yeah, Hugh Freeze still ain't coming to our table at media days.
Hey, so second part of Cousin Trey's question. He always asks the best questions here, and he always asks a food question. This one's for you, buddy. You know it's fall when Cousin Shane is now eating blank. What does Cousin Shane start eating when it's fall?
Those those pumpkin Reese's eggs are the what are they? The football ones, football shaped eggs or whatever. They do the fall Reese eggs. I don't know which one it is.
I feel like you're just eating that all the time anyway. What's that got to do with fall?
I don't know, because they only bring them out in the fall. That and the Christmas trees, that's coming up not too long from now, Little Debbie's. But
I've seen the trees. I don't know what you're talking about with the pumpkins.
No, maybe I'm making that up. Maybe I just saw that. I don't know.
I think you dreamt it.
Coming up. Well, Reese's, reach out. You're missing it. That's what you should have. That and pies, brother. I mean, I do like pies all year long, but I do lean in a little extra on those pecan pies here in the fall season.
Oh, someone just had the best here was Cousin Brett. He said, tiny ass Coronas. Remember that last year?
Oh, man. Fall's awesome, man. For me, when I think of fall, I think of chili. I love a meaty chili. Bush's Baked Bean, not a sponsor, but they got an awesome chili starter mix that I grew up on. So it just kind of reminds me of my childhood. And, chili and cold beer and, kind of hanging out outside. I like fire pits and drinking out there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That has nothing to do with food, but it does remind me of growing up. So, that's where I'm at with the fall.
Yeah, we got some white bean chicken chili in the fridge right now, Shane.
What? That ain't the same.
Whoa, why
That's
not?
fancy chili. No.
I made I made the woman make it for week 1 of college football. We're still eating it.
Still wearing it out, huh?
Yep. All right, how about this one, Shane, from Cousin Josh? What is the highest number of pancakes Cousin Shane can knock down?
It really depends because some of them have substance. You got to be careful. You know, some like you go to a Holiday Inn or something like that, you could eat like 40 of them things because they're basically nothing. But you go to a pantry or something there in Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
I do.
So it really just depends on the pancake for you.
Yeah, it really does because some of them are like, I mean, there's different types of pancakes. And me, I do like pecans in my pancakes. So I would probably go 3 max because we're talking full plate, pancakes or whatever. So 3 max and maybe 4 if I'm feeling lucky.
Have you ever had a sweet potato pancake?
No, I don't know what that is.
I never had either, but there's a place right near here that has them. And what they do is they put that, it's like cinnamon butter on it.
Yeah.
That may be the best flavored pancake I've ever had.
You know, I went to IHOP the other day. This was probably about 3 weeks back. They had it was like a cinnamon roll pancake type deal.
Uh-huh.
So, if you have cinnamon roll, they got that, like the innards. It's got that, I don't know what that is, that brown stuff, that real sweet. So it was a pancake.
Cinnamon?
Yeah, but there was something else like brown sugar or something. I don't know. But it was pancake, brown sugar, that brown sugar stuff. And then on the top was the icing.
Cousin Brian says, I'm smelling a cousin cookout.
Oh, I may get some pancakes after this, man. That sounds good.
And then last one here from Cousin Josh. Same question. How many Coors Lights can Shane knock down?
Well, see, that depends on the time, If it's a 60-minute show, I get stressed out. I can't do that. But if we're sitting there all day, I mean, I usually do like on Saturdays, I'll go like not too bad, I don't think. Maybe like 10 or 12, like throughout the whole day. You know what I'm saying? That was the first time. Okay, maybe that is bad. Don't listen to me. I'm a terrible example, kids.
Cousin Andrew, whatever that brown stuff is in cinnamon rolls.
It's not just cinnamons, man. It's like some sort of like paste, It's not just cinnamon, which I'm allergic to. True story, man. So they opened up a Cinnabon place in Pigeon Forge, and my wife, she said, "Hey, you want some of these cinnamon rolls?" And I was like, "Well, hell yeah." I didn't know I was allergic to cinnamon. So she goes and gets these cinnamon things, and I'm eating it, and I maybe ate 2 of them. And next day, my hands are swollen. So my fingers are swollen. My right eye was swollen right here. I couldn't see out of it. So I called into work. I said, I ain't going to work. And so she goes up, and she's calling back. She goes, hey, you want any more of them cinnamon rolls? I was like, hell yeah. So she comes back. I doubled down on this thing, man. This is how I figured out I was allergic to cinnamon. Cinnabon about killed me, Mike. Next day, dude, I woke up. I was like Michelin Man. My fingers, I couldn't close my fingers. I couldn't see out my eyes. I had to go to the doctor, and they gave me a shot at Napier. So those IHOP pancakes, you're probably like, Shane, what were you thinking? So I go there. This is a true story. And I had a nappy pen in my left pocket because I saw a commercial on it just in case I had a flare up. And I haven't had like a flare up in like 2 years on this cinnamon stuff, so I felt pretty safe. But just for precaution, I went to IHOP with an EpiPen. Damn, I'm fat. It just sounds fat saying that story, don't it?
They're asking if you have any photos of you swelled up there.
I'm really 200 pounds. I just can't stop eating this shit.
All right. Hey, I'll ask you one then. I enjoyed this last time so much. What week 2?
Yeah.
Again, we're gonna make our picks here tomorrow. Week 2 in the SEC. What would lead to another emergency style podcast? Would it be Florida losing again? Surely the guy they can't lose to Samford. Buddy. That's I would imagine that's got to be up there. I don't know. Any thoughts on that? Texas big win, Texas big loss, perhaps. I don't know. What are you thinking?
I think emergency is going to be. There's a couple coaches against the ropes, and that's Beamer and Napier, and I think if South Carolina were to get absolutely crushed by Kentucky, that would be one, because we got to start asking the questions.
Right.
I think if Napier barely squeaks by Sanford, we got to jump on here and just talk about it, because the fans are going to want to listen. They're going to be calling the hotline. So
Right.
I think that one would be one. But I short of that, as long as it's not a huge upset, I don't see any that are just glaring to me.
Hey, Hyde Bob says, do they make Cinnabon anti-venom?
Yeah. EpiPen. I'm sitting there waiting for my food to come out. I'm literally reading the EpiPen just in case I want to know how to use it, because I've never had to use one before.
Hey, Car Doc here. Could there be a hot pepper bet between us on opposing locks of the? I don't know if when's the last time we've had an opposing lock of the week. I'm sure it'll happen, but I'd be down to do something like that.
Yeah. Shit, you've been fighting me all day, Mike. You're just ready. Let's do it, man. I'm down with that. I like
How hot are we
stuff.
talking here? How hot can you handle?
Shit, I can handle anything, I don't know. I don't want to do like one of those that holds a record Scoville things, but you know what I'm saying? I don't like the chip challenge or anything like that. I'm talking about like a pepper.
Right.
Just a real hot, but not like it's gonna give me a heart attack pepper, Mm-hmm. That'd be good. That'd be good for ratings, but my family would suffer tremendously.
I think there's a store right down the street at this mall at the Opry Mills. I think it's just a spice store. Like they sell this stuff. So I could get us some stuff for sure.
Okay, yeah, find one. Maybe we do one of those, and I dig that. That's a hot bet.
Cousin he says, so we're getting emergency 1 for 7 at South Carolina is what I'm hearing.
Oh, buddy. Hey, but that's again, I have now the luxury to do this. I didn't last few seasons, and I'm excited. We're really. You guys have helped grow this show so much that it's provided us the freedoms to do emergency podcasts and things like that. So I appreciate all the subscriptions. I appreciate those that went on my bookie, and when we throw out these promo codes, you take advantage of it, because it truly does help us out and help us grow and make a better product for you all.
Yeah, no doubt, Shane. So yeah, well said. Can't wait for tomorrow night. We're going to make our picks for each one of these football games. But that's going to do it for this episode of the show. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right, see you guys. Go Vols. Grab my